Yes! World Cup Champs Week is here. I'm Julie Foudy. This is Lynn Ozawi Wowie.
Hi, Julie.
Hi, Lynn. Pumped to be back. And we're not only kicking off World Cup Champs Week, we're kicking it off with two superstars. So we have Alex Morgan and Kelley O'Hara. All right, so without further ado, we introduce you to Alex and Kelley, who are both two-time World Cup champions, Olympic gold medalists. Alex went, don't hold this against her, to Cal Berkeley. Kelley went to the fine institution called Stanford University. How the two are friends, I'm not certain. Two awesome leaders. They also made the first FIFA Best 11 team for women. It's the first time they've named a FIFA Best 11 for women. And they had just gotten back from Milan. They were on their victory tour, their last game of the victory tour. So get comfortable listening. It's Alex and Kelley.
Kick back, relax, and unwind. Let's have a good time, finding the joy in life. We're smiling so bright, talking and laughing combined. Feeling alright, get comfortable listening. It's laughter permitted.
So can you explain to me the donuts that we have today?
Yes. Are you really?
Because that one looks exciting. Like that one that's cut in half in the back. It looks like a cronut.
I think this guy right here?
Yeah.
Okay, I think it has a creamy center.
and a little outside.
Maple on top.
Oh, that's actually a marbled maple on top.
Oh, thank you, marbled maple.
That's what
I'll get my donut lingo down. Thanks, Kel. That one we think is pistachio. It's got green frosting.
It's either matcha or pistachio.
Oh, matcha. What's matcha?
Matcha is a green tea from Japan.
Yeah, but it's
seriously?
Yeah. But it's green tea that's ground up, so it's
more
like
intense.
you get.
Okay, try that one and tell me if it's matcha.
Well, I
you don't want the green one? Just try a little bit, and then you can have the other one.
Well,
what do you want?
I want the sugary one.
It just tastes like old fashioned.
I don't think that when it's matcha glaze, it's like really that.
It's just green matcha.
It's just green.
Okay, but I want this one.
You're like, no, I want the one with the creamy center.
With your mouth closed. You're on air.
You know, it's all about eating with your mouth open on air. You should be pounding donuts on air. I think I'm going to go with that one. Or do you want that one? The maple tinged.
This is my
Look, it's
go-to.
got bacon in the middle. What is that?
Oh my God,
No, it
does.
doesn't. Shut up.
Oh, she's vegan.
Well,
Julie.
Vegetarian right now.
Okay, sorry. I never know what day it is.
imagine if it was bacon. No, I would know right away. It's cinnamon and like.
Okay, good.
Whatever.
Oh, I'm going to like this one.
It's
Kelley, you
vegan
could have
bacon.
made a mistake here.
Oh, on that?
Uh-huh.
Is it kind of like a cinnamon roll?
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Is it okay if this gets messy? Like,
Well, let me
it's
have a
everywhere.
little.
Oh.
Even though we are at the Ritz.
Oh,
On a pot.
that is good.
Okay, bite for bite.
You know what? The layeredness of that is what makes it
I think I lied. I
That's
don't
a
think
quality-
it has cream in the middle.
pastry. It has a little bit of something.
It's really just like a cinnamon like layer above the 7 other layered doughs.
Yeah, no, that's banging good.
Well, the text I got from Erin Heifetz, the press officer, was Kelley's running a few minutes late. She said there better be some damn donuts.
I said, please don't eat all the donuts. I'm 2 minutes behind.
Oh,
Okay.
what do you want?
Another bite.
No, this is mine.
But we should trade just at the end.
Because yours isn't that good, huh?
No, mine is very good, but
We'll get more
I
donuts.
like the flakiness of this.
Okay, fine.
Can you guys set the scene, please?
Well,
So we are in the
the
bathroom
Ritz, but at the
of
Ritz.
the Ritz.
The Ritz-Carlton.
But a really fancy bathroom.
And Julie is literally licking her fingers right now to get the frosting off.
There's a nice chandelier sconce in the bathroom. Yeah, this is actually pretty
And
funny.
we're sitting very close together.
You're in Chicago for your last Victory Tour game. I know it pains you guys for this to be the last Victory Tour game.
Well,
I thought you
neither
meant-
one of us have really played in the Victory Tour, so
This is our way of saying no more Victory Tour games. No, just kidding. We do love.
No, Victory Tour is fun.
I know.
I like the Victory Tour. I wish obviously.
I like the Victory Tour. I just wish that we had more time with our club teams. We're getting so pulled away. That's
I know.
hard
It's a lot to
stuff.
balance.
Yeah, the one game that they added to the Victory Tour game could have gone without, and that's the one I got injured in. So you know what?
Oh,
Say a
was
big
it?
F you about that.
Take that pistachio matcha one.
Take it. I love it, Alex. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, thank you. I went on the Ultra G treadmill today, so I deserve this.
Yes, you do.
I ran for 9 minutes. I deserve all of those.
The last scene I was with you both in.
Oh God, I probably don't remember it. Do I?
Exactly.
Oh, no.
It was champagne in hand.
Yep. Probably
I
both
got
hands.
4 stars on my chest.
Where
I
was
got
this?
4
At the after party.
stars
Oh,
on my
oh,
chest.
yeah.
It was fabulous. Well, that's not the last time I've seen you. But
Yeah,
the
no,
last
we've
time
seen-
I got to spend a little time with you when I
True.
popped into that.
In a casual setting.
Yeah. So take us back to that one,
Oof.
to that evening.
Well, there's a lot of champagne. There's a lot of Budweiser. Beer? Beer? That's a funny story.
Tell us a story.
We were talking, we were at our last hotel that we were in France at breakfast before the final. It might have been the day of the final. I think it was the morning before the final. And there was a group of us sitting around, and Allie Krieger was like, what's everybody going to drink? Like after.
What's your first
Yeah,
drink
what's your
gonna
first
be?
going to be after we win? Or like after it's over. And I go, a beer. And she goes, beer? Like, really? A beer? Like, really? A beer? And so that's just like, we'll look at each other and be like, beer? But for me, I don't know. I was just like, I want a beer.
She got her beers.
Yeah, I got plenty of beers.
Plenty of them.
Yeah. So that's, yeah.
Can you each describe each other, please?
On the field or off the field?
Both.
Oh,
and I don't want
God.
like the normal shit. Like we don't do normal shit. I mean, we're in a bathroom for God's sake.
Okay, so Kelly's nickname is Wormy, aka Wookie, I guess.
No,
That's a
I
new
call
one?
Allie Wookie.
Okay,
She still
so
calls me
Kelly's Wormy. We call her Wormy because sometimes she comes in and we see her in camp and she looks a little like thin.
It happened one time. I was very thin, and it was.
We're like, whoa, like you need to put some meat on those bones. And then she also like loves salads. Like she like munches on salads like no one else's business. And so she's wormy, you know, she's just a little wormy. She's, Kelly's
Makes
like the
perfect
the type of person that if you want to go to like Stan's Donuts, but she wants to go to Randy's, like there's no discussion. We're going to Randy's Donuts.
These are stands, by the way.
Okay. Yeah.
They're great. I would go to
really good.
Stan's.
And,
Like how so?
well, she's just like very like, well, if you want to go to Stan's, I'm going to go to Randy's anyway. So I'll see you back at the hotel.
Yeah.
Like,
I know
it's
what I
like,
like.
I know what I want. And like, it doesn't matter if I have company or not. I'm going to do what I want.
She's exaggerating.
No.
There are times when I say,
No.
whatever you want, Alex, which typically is a lot.
Yeah.
It only happens when like,
She's set in her ways, which
Yeah.
is like 90% of the time.
probably. That's a good thing.
What else?
Oh,
with
what am I going to
worms?
say about you?
But on the field, she's like a truck. There was one time during the World Cup that she like literally mauled this girl from behind, and it was like unnecessary. It was like in like
Mauled. I
From-
would never maul anybody.
from behind. Yeah, exactly. So anyways, I'll set the scene. It was kind of like in our attacking half, and it was, I don't remember what happened, but the ball went to like their left back, and Kelley comes just ramming in and just like mauls this girl. And I'm like, Kel, like it's unnecessary to foul right there. She's like, I didn't even do anything. Like she can't.
Oh no, that was in one of the send-off games, and you were like, "Don't foul there," and I was like, "I wasn't trying to."
Yeah,
Alex, thank
she
you.
wasn't trying to.
My body, okay?
But like Kelley knows one speed in soccer, and
Yeah.
that's just like ball.
It's bone crushing.
It's like
that speed.
Get ball or get leg. But that's why she's like the best outside back in the world.
ball or leg.
World.
What was that game?
I agree
What was
with
that
all
game
this.
you came in? You came in I mean, just took someone out, and after the game, you were like,
What game was it? Every game.
every game. And you go, but this one, typically you're like, yeah, what? So what? You're like, yeah, that, I don't know why I did that. I just.
Was it
wasn't
at the World
smart.
Cup?
I think so, because it hurt, you said.
Oh, I don't know.
You're like, yeah, I didn't need to do that. I could have
Yeah.
got carded for that. I think it was at the World Cup.
I don't know.
Kel, what about Alex?
Oh, Alex. What about Alex?
I'm just gonna sip my coffee.
So, as
Sip
much
my
as she
tea.
makes me out to be set in my ways, I think the reason we're friends is because she is very set in her ways. If I know what I like, she definitely knows what she likes. And I will say that we both can compromise, but I think that's why we get along so well, because we're both just like very confident, know what we like, and that's what we do. Mm-hmm. And
An example, please.
I mean, any food or where we're going or what we're doing. As much as she says I make those plans, she's the one making them, and we just follow along behind.
Well, I just like to be decisive and like,
She is very decisive.
if we're going to decide where to go, I want to give 3 options and then you could choose from them.
Yeah, Alex and I would like lollygag, take my time, figure something out eventually.
I
but-
rally the troops.
Yeah.
So you
sure.
give like 3 options and say go? You like organize that much?
Yeah, I'll like send.
So that's interesting.
impressive.
She'll go, okay, we can go X, Y, and Z. Here are these vegan restaurants. Let's go here. And then we'll pick one. Whereas if I have a place in mind, like I won't have 3.
I'm going to street
I'll
food
be like,
tonight.
yeah, I'm going.
At
I
6
want to go.
o'clock, who
here.
wants to go?
Yeah.
And it's like 5:57 p.m. I'm like, well, I don't have clothes on right now. She's like, well, I'll meet you there then.
Because I feel like I'm fine like following, but then if I like know what I want and I'm like I have it in my mind, I just go do that. So yeah, you are very good at that. And then on the field, I don't know. I feel like everybody sees her as like goal scorer and like, the star forward, which you are. But I think people don't understand the nuances and like the level that you play at in terms of tactics and also technical in doing like what the day calls for, the opponent calls for. Like for instance, at the World Cup, I felt like you played our system and like played our game plan so well, and that's why we were successful in the final third, even though you might not have been scoring all the goals, or I mean you still scored a ridiculous amount of goals, but like that's what I love about you as a player, because you really are so aware and always just doing exactly what the game calls for, and whether that's banging in a goal in the 90th minute or like
Or 5.
or 5, or like sitting lower, getting absolutely battered from the opponent's defense. And that's, I think that's something that people don't know about you, or maybe don't recognize enough and appreciate.
You guys have
too
been
good to me.
so good to me. Thank you.
You guys are like, you're an asshole and a psycho and a savage. And I'm like, you're a brilliant soccer mind, Alex. And you do what we need you to do. I'm just going to go lock myself in that bathroom right there and not come out.
It's good you're close.
I said you were
'Cause
the
you're
best
literally in it.
outside back in the world because you're a
I
savage.
appreciate it.
Yes, I heard that.
Yeah,
I
thank you.
did hear that. She only heard the second half.
Oh, man.
All right, you guys have been on like a crazy schedule, whirlwind. I mean, it's just been this chaos around you in terms of from the World Cup to the Victory Tour to NWSL stuff. Have you had a moment yet to be like, what do we just do?
I get glimpses of it sometimes. I'll stop and
Didn't you just talk to me about this
yeah,
yesterday?
I think I like put my arm around her. I was like, can you believe we did it? Like we won the World Cup again.
Yeah.
Because it really is, you go in, there's so much in like anxiety and anticipation and pressure leading into it, and then you're in it and you're just doing what you have to do to get the job done, and then afterwards there's this explosion of emotion and excitement and celebration. But I love sitting back and be like, man, like that was huge. Like we did that and we did what we set out to do, and it's not easy, but it's awesome. And I don't know. I do sometimes sit back and enjoy it, because I think that's what's important. Like
It's
there's no
hard to
point-
though in the
Yeah.
craziness of it all.
No, for sure. But for me, it's like, it's the little moments. It's just, sometimes it's by myself. It's, like I did yesterday, just being like, man, this was cool.
What would you say, Alex?
I think that, of course, I was like, yeah, I know, right? And like, what if we do it for a third time?
Oh, yeah, that's what she said. And we both looked at each other and we were like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go again. Yeah.
Kelly's
No,
like living
seriously.
in the moment. I'm like, what about this?
Yeah.
though?
Well, it's true. Like, it's funny. As much as there will be times when I'll be like, man, that was awesome. I'm like, what's next? You know? And I don't think of it as like, oh, like what we did was great and we don't need to do anything more. Because as soon as we win, it's like, okay, you got to show up tomorrow and play well and like prove that you're just as good as you were yesterday. So that's kind of how I would say I look at it.
It's the growth mindset, though.
Yeah, for
It's what
sure.
makes
I mean,
you guys so good.
and that's
a healthy
exact-
way. In a healthy
for sure,
way.
for sure.
Right? But you do have to like, it's hard to let it sink in and soak it in. You have to give yourself that.
Yeah.
That
but I
moment.
think that's like taking time, like quiet time to yourself and thinking about it.
Which has been like few and far between.
Yeah.
Really.
And I know, everyone sees it's all shiny and bright and the glamour behind it, but it's hard as well. I mean, you both have talked about the journey. There's a lot of people on the team who have talked about how hard the journey was this time around with everything swirling around it. Describe a little bit of that and put it into context maybe, because I do think people think, oh, it just happened, right? No, it's so easy and these gals are really good and they won. But they don't realize how hard it is.
Yeah.
It's actually like kind of hard to put it
Into words
because we live it every day. So like we don't know another speed or like another way. So it's hard to like describe it to people because like, yeah, it was effing hard, but that's also like
what
just-
makes it important and like worth doing.
Yeah, for sure. And just to try to explain like why it was that hard is really difficult because like, well, I mean, emotionally, it's like not healthy what we have to go through.
How so?
Just being away from your family, just being, in this environment it's like a pressure cooker sometimes. And then you have some, friendships that you've created in this environment, but then you have also like a lot of players that you've played with for years and years that you haven't really built that like base, or if you have built that base, maybe it's not where you want it to be. And so the environment here is just very different, but it's so like, it's just what you expect when you come in here. It's kind of like Groundhog Day a lot, and not in a good way. I don't know if there's ever a good Groundhog Day.
I think it's when he stays
idea.
out of the hole.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that the good Groundhog Day?
When he peeks up.
Yeah. No, and then he stays out. Because isn't it if he goes back down?
That means it's
more
the same.
winter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And then when you go home, you're part of another team and you like have to adjust to that sort of style and environment and like just lifestyle. And then you're pulled away. So you're never settled ever in life. So like emotionally, I feel like it's always like some of my best friends I haven't seen in so long because except for
here
Kel,
for you.
yeah, that I grew up with and stuff like that. And I try to see my family as much as possible, but it's just like when you don't feel settled, it's hard to emotionally feel stable.
Yeah.
Do you have any strategies to go to knowing that it is so unsettling? Where do you ground yourself?
I meditate.
Yeah, I do too. That definitely helps, just trying to like live in the present moment for sure.
Yeah.
And it helps not to like, it helps slow your mind down because it's hard not for us to go a million miles an hour. My family also comes to like a lot of games, and Kelley's family does too. And I think that like getting to know her family, vice versa, and like all of our teammates has been really great because it's not just this like insane job that we do. This is like our life, our livelihood. And so kind of bringing it back to that means a lot. And
Yeah, and like you see what's important. Like,
yeah,
at the end of the day, it is World Cup. It is very important. Winning soccer games matters, but it's also about like, life is about relationships and the emotional connection and the personal connection. And so I think I ground myself in that when things get crazy, especially from like being all over the place.
It's funny because the first thing I went to with the hard journey is the injuries you guys have had to live through. So I was thinking more the physical side, of course.
Yeah.
I understand the emotional side is always hard because it's just a grind. But I always think about like, I mean, look at the last, what has it been, year and a half for you, Kel?
2+,
Yeah, and
I feel like.
Alex, you've gone through something similar.
Well, this girl is like incredible. She has like endured so many injuries over the last year or two. And then she plays 7 games in the World Cup. Like, what?
Like you literally
played 6.
Okay, 6 games in the
but
World
you got
Cup.
like cleared like right before the World Cup too.
Literally like 90
yeah, I just
minutes.
played my first game at the World Cup.
It was insane to like see how she was just, it's almost mind over matter when I look at Kelley during the World Cup.
It was, to be honest, because I don't know how I did that.
Jill said that. She's like, I don't have any idea how Kelley did that.
But I think everybody just looked at me and was like, well, you're going to, so
yeah, we needed
figure
her
out a way.
and we needed her to crush girls, and that's exactly what she did. And then she was, awarded with top 11 players in the world.
Both of you.
Yeah. Top 3. We're going to are we slow counting? Okay.
I think that deserves another donut.
I actually have been eyeing that glazed one, so thank you.
Best 11 donut.
Oh, okay. Can I have a little bite of that one? Because that's all I. Split it. Okay. Yeah.
Such a better idea.
There you go.
Going back to that relationship thought you had, comment you had about that life's relationships, there was this great picture you posted, Kelley, of, it was so cute. I think it was after Alex scored the semifinal. And you're like karate chopping in the air, like, but you're like 10 feet.
She got so high.
Yeah. But
incredible.
The thing is the look on your two faces. It's what I love.
This was when the whistle blew after the quarterfinal against France. Yeah.
Oh, it was after the quarterfinal? Yeah, and your arms are in the air, Alex, but the joy in your faces.
Jump.
I was so I don't know how I jumped. I saw that picture afterwards and I was like, I was cramping since the 70th minute. How did my calves produce that amount of height?
Yeah, you were way in the air, but I just thought in that moment, like speaking of like friendships and relationship, I'm like, that's it. Like the importance of sharing that moment with a teammate.
Oh yeah.
For sure. The joy you feel for each other and for the team.
Yeah.
And that seemed to spill out. What I saw, like when I'm at training, when you guys are, before the semifinal, before the quarterfinal, there was a joy to that group. It felt like.
I think one of the coolest things throughout my career I realized, and I think when we won in 2012, I was like, man, this is an incredible feat because you take, I guess Olympics is 18, but 23 at the World Cup. You take 23 individuals who have their own individual goals, they have their own opinions, they have their own personalities, and you take such a wide group of people and they all come together to achieve one thing. And they put differences aside and they put individual success aside, and it's all about just completing this one mission that we set out to do. And I think that's such an incredible thing. I think that's why I love team sports and I've always been drawn to them. It's like, it's really kind of incredible to like feel that and know that nothing else matters except for doing this and achieving this.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy when you think about team sports too. Like obviously everyone talks about how selfless you need to be and put team first, but you also need to be incredibly selfish just to be a professional athlete in general. Like you have to always put yourself first in terms of like nutrition, making sure you feel good, and when you wake up every morning, you're doing the right things. And so in a lot of ways, it's really selfish to be an athlete. So it's kind of that balance between selfishness and selflessness. And I think this team like captures that perfectly. I mean, obviously you, out of all people, know that of this team, and you're a big part of the history of this team. But I think that we've been able to continue to capture that through this history.
I said
of this
to Lynn,
program.
it reminded me a lot of the 99ers. And we had a text
Which is incredible how like 20 years later it can be so like similar. Like, the culture, just like what is ingrained in us.
And we had a text chain going, the 99ers during the World Cup.
I want to see that.
It's so cute. I'll show you.
Awesome.
I've said that I would pay to get on that text chain.
Yeah.
So the entire World Cup, we're all, on a chain talking all the time, and it's all of us. And
was it 18 or 20?
20.
20, yeah.
Yeah, so there's 20 of us. And when you guys won, and the ones, I saw after and I could have that moment, all the 99ers were like, Jules, we know you're there. If you see them, tell them how, effing proud we are. It was a lot of words I can't say.
Yeah.
Well, isn't this your podcast so we can do whatever
we can totally say
we
fucking
want?
proud. Yes, I can do that.
Now you just put an
E
explicit.
next
Yeah, I
to
was going to say, you just peg this as E. There we go.
We have a lot of E's, actually.
Okay, that's fine.
I think we're only E's,
Yeah.
sadly. But the pride they felt, and like not just winning, but how you did it and what you stood for and how you stood for that and the courage with all that was going on, the circus, the president tweeting at you, the equal pay lawsuit, everything else. They're like, tell them. Yes.
But that's what this team's always done, you know, and that comes from you guys passing that down, and then, you know, the Abbies, the Hayos passing that down to us, and now we're hopefully passing that down to the Mal, the Roses, those sort of players, and hopefully that continue. Like, for me, I feel personal responsibility to make sure that this team still embodies what I felt when I got here, when I leave, you know? So,
and trust me, Kelley is doing her part. Like, she is rallying. You are rallying the younger players. And like, I feel like you're always, I don't know, kind of bringing them in, like, for dinners that we have on our own or any free time. Like, Kelley's always the one checking in with players and making sure that they're good and like, just like creating those relationships with them.
They're the only ones who'll hang out with me now. So.
Well, it's working because we sat with Rose and Sam.
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday or the day before. And they said, because I was saying, how did you guys handle all that pressure so well as young kids on the team, your first World Cup? And then, it was so much attention on this World Cup. And they were like, we just looked at our veterans and they were totally calm and, you know, cool about it. We're like, yeah, we're just going to be like them. It was so cute.
They did amazing. Yes. Yeah. It was awesome to watch them.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, one question on equal pay.
Okay.
Where is it right now?
Far from equal. Yeah. No, we're getting there. I mean, we have the trial date set.
It's in May.
In May right now.
2020.
Be right before before the Olympics.
And obviously we tried to go through mediation and it was not successful with U.S. Soccer. So we just stay par for the course. It's picking up steam and we stay in constant communication with our lawyers on new updates and new things that we have to provide as well to them.
But it still could go to mediation, right? Like, it doesn't necessarily have to go to trial.
It's possible, yeah. But the closer you get, the more unlikely.
Well, it could be the other way. The closer you get, more likely, because as U.S. Soccer sees a case building against them,
for sure,
they might be more likely to settle at that point, you know. So it kind of depends on how things go.
I think we've just been like trending towards this, and there was no other option. Eventually, we've pushed so much to create an equal environment as like an employee of U.S. Soccer, and as much as we've gotten closer and closer, it's like eventually you're just like, it's not good enough. And you see like the climate in today, with so many other women, you know, female actresses, singers, you know, other women, just standing
even people
up for
in
themselves.
in the corporate world.
Yeah, in the corporate world, for sure.
It's all industries.
Yeah.
That it's important and necessary.
And I bet it's opened your eyes to the broader context.
For
of
sure.
that, right?
I've learned so much in being involved in this, and it is what is right.
Yeah.
And
I
what
think,
should happen.
Yeah. I think I've also realized like how much we can like help other like women on other national teams as well. Like they reach out to us so much more now, and it's not that we know or have done any more just because the lawsuit is filed. You know, I feel like we've always been there to answer questions or help with any advice that they have. But I think now that it's open and out there, I think they feel like they can be vulnerable enough to ask us, and we're all like in it together. Of course, when we're on the world stage, we're playing soccer and that's one thing, but this is something much bigger.
Well, you've inspired them by showing them what's possible when you stick together too, right? And there's so much strength in seeing someone else do it. I mean, Mia and I have had this discussion. When you guys filed that lawsuit 3 months before the World Cup, I said to her, do you think we would have done that? I mean, that was so brave and courageous to say to your employer, oh, and by the way, we're going to the World Cup with you in 3 months, but we're going to sue you for equal pay right now. And we came to the conclusion that we probably wouldn't have.
I was about to say, I don't think you guys would have.
Because in that time, right, we were fighting for equitable, and now it's time, it's progressed, where it should be equal. But back then it was, I think we would have said, is that going to be too much of a distraction? Maybe we should just do it after the World Cup and then deal with it, right? But I think you guys having the courage to make it happen while the World Cup was going on actually elevated the conversation, of course.
It's funny. I didn't ever think of it as like this is going to be a distraction during the World Cup, because I just think this team is so good at blocking out. Like, I was unaware of so many things that happened during the World Cup in the media because I just didn't pay attention, because when we're in that environment, I kind of just shut off. Like, my friend texted me multiple different things that happened, and I'd just be like, what are you talking about? She's like, you really are living under a rock. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to win a World Cup here, you know? And
I'm trying so hard to stay in my bubble.
Yeah, I'm just here to win, you know, like, I want to win this. But
So leave me alone.
yeah. Stop text me these things. Like, I don't really want to know, because then I'm going to like go looking. But after we won, some people were like, you know, you guys really doubled down on yourself by doing that, and then you won and proved that you really do deserve it. And I was like, but even if we hadn't have won, we still deserve that, you know? But we still live in an age where it's like, we have to every single day show up, be successful, and be the number one team in the world for us to even have the backing to ask and to say we deserve this. Which I think is interesting, and it's a bit frustrating, but it's also just like, this is what we do. This is who we are. We are the best, and we're going to continue to be that way, regardless of how we're compensated or how we're treated.
Yeah. And how you dealt with it. I mean, it was just fabulous. Jill had the best quote during the tournament. She said, a lot of teams visit pressure. We live in it.
It's true. We really do. Like, every single time we're in camp, we're playing potentially the best team in the world against the next best team in the world. So, and no one, I don't know. I feel like this team, it's like we live in an unstable environment at all times. Like, the rug can get pulled out at you at any moment, and you just have to show up every single day and perform. And that's what we do.
So I'm the only one in this lovely Ritz-Carlton bathroom who does not have 2 World Cup titles. Would you describe being on the national team as a sisterhood? Would you describe it as a club? It just seems like it's such this like elite group, and having 3 of you here, I'm curious how you would describe it.
I definitely think it's like a sisterhood, because you respect each other on like the highest level. You have to work together, but you don't always see eye to eye. You don't always share the same opinions. You don't always get along. And so I really think it's a sister. We spend enough time together to call each other family.
Yeah, and then it's cool with all the players that have come before us. And like, I remember getting Julie's autograph after like an Atlanta Beat game in Atlanta, like when I was probably 11,
Oh, I didn't
12.
know that.
Yeah.
Really?
I think you're the only player that I've ever asked for an autograph, because I didn't really care about him. But they're like, that's Julie Foudy, go ask for it. I was like, okay, yes, sign my t-shirt. But it's awesome, because like I've looked up to these players, and I looked up to players that I got to play with, like Abby and Heyo, and it's so cool because now it's a friendship, it's a, like you said, a sisterhood, and we all can kind of look at each other and know like, oh yeah, you've been through this too, and you know what I'm going through, and there's that connection that you can't fabricate that. It happens because like, they've been through it. I'm going through it. The people who will come after me have gone through it, and it'll just continue on. And I think I love that part about being on this team. It's just like, you can only do it if you've been here.
And you only know it. Yeah.
And you only know it, and you feel it. Like, cause there's things that you can just be like, yeah, I get it. You know, I know what you're going through.
And like, regardless of if we've never played together, if like I played with someone for a couple years, but that was a while back, or if like I'm current teammates, I feel like we could see each other every day, or not for like a year or two, and you just pick back up where you left off.
Yeah. And that happens, 15 years after you've retired.
For
too.
sure.
It's seamless. It really is.
Yeah.
I know. Was it great, like having the alumni weekend
Thank you for
and
that.
you guys kind of being together?
These guys helped organize that first ever full, meaning like,
Well, it's going to get bigger and better, but it was a good start.
It was
a
if you
huge
had a
start.
cap with the national team, you got invited to the alumni
Yeah,
reunion.
you
And
just
it was
had to play one game with the national team.
It was awesome.
And it was, players from the 80s who were like the very first players to play, who I'd never really gotten to know because we came maybe a couple of years in. But it was the first time we've ever had that together.
And it was cool. It almost felt like a sorority reunion, like all hanging out together.
was
Ladies
so
who
fun.
lunch. We just brunched, but
Okay. most pressing questions.
Oh gosh.
Are you ready?
Oof, pressing questions. Okay.
I can't remember what I wrote.
Oh no.
I gotta get my
Put the glasses
for
on.
this. Get my glasses
The
on.
spectacles.
Favorite person. This is for you, Cal.
Oh.
Favorite person you met at the FIFA Awards, because Rose met no one. No, I go, Rose.
That's so funny.
Who'd you meet? She goes, no one. I just kind of went in and I laughed.
I took a picture with Marcelo.
You did?
Yeah, because I just love the way he plays, and I like look up to him
Fellow
as a player.
outside
Yeah,
guy.
for sure. Like he's such a sick player. So that's the only one that I like said hey to and took a picture with.
Really?
Yeah. But like we all were kind of doing our own thing. I
We
guess.
also, well, you got in the day before. Most of us got in like the morning of the event, and then like took a nap, had a bunch of interviews, like got ready and went to
like
the
I
event.
just said hi at the actual awards like afterwards, and it was crazy. It's like packed. There's tons of people, and it's kind of like I don't know. We all
Also, the last time I went, which was a long time, many years ago, it was like all of us sitting together in like the front few rows. We were all spread out now. So it was a little different. Like I didn't even get to see like half of the guys that were on like Best 11 or anything like that.
really?
We all were like in the back stairwell after we had received our awards, and then they all were walking up to get them all lined up in the back before they went on, and we were all just like, hey, congrats, and they all
Yeah.
walked by, and like half of them were not my size because I looked very small there this time, but like they were all like 5'7", you know, they just look smaller in person than they do.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Than they do on television.
Yeah.
Rapino told me that Klopp had beautiful teeth.
Well, of course. You could see him from a mile away.
I was like,
He
So
said
repeated.
hi to a couple of us. He's awesome.
Yeah, he
I
sat right
really
in
like
front
him.
of me. And
Yeah, we got to say hi, and he won, so
yeah.
which was sick.
something you get asked too much and you are done answering.
Oh, can we take a selfie
That's a good one.
That is a really
while
good
I'm
one.
eating? No, not while I'm eating, please.
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably yours too.
Probably that as well. Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Well, also like, how's your knee? Well,
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It's fine.
Yeah, whenever you're injured and like
Yeah.
bless like your teammates are always like looking after you and just trying to check in and show that they care, and then fans and staff and all that stuff, and it's like I'm exactly how I was yesterday, man. Like I've run through it with 10,000
Slow and
other
steady
people.
wins
Yeah,
the race.
Exactly. But that's me being
We're going
an
for
asshole.
a third in 4 years. Okay,
Yeah, exactly.
it'll be good.
Yeah, that's all. We got our eyes on the future.
You're like, my knee still sucks. My ankle still sucks.
Yeah,
Nothing has changed.
Yeah, we're dragging our body along here. So.
Still shitty, but I'll be able to play.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fine.
Yeah,
How you doing? Still shitty.
yeah. But we're living. We're
Oh,
still
do not
alive.
share the thing you always say.
What? Feeling good, looking good, lying to myself. That's what we used to do in warm up.
Oh
We'd
my
scream it.
God.
We'd all go, feeling good, looking good, lying to ourselves.
That is. See, we all get
Steal
that.
it.
We understand. I
We
understand
used to
exactly.
just remember when was it Abby or whoever? We used to hate Dawn's warm ups, and so we were like, just smile through the warm up.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you smile, then you all of a sudden become happier.
Just
so we were
plaster,
like,
yeah.
we fucking hoot, and then eventually by the end of warm up, we're actually like laughing.
Yeah, it's so true.
for sure.
Gotta have that one thing.
Okay, high-low cheer. This is our last segment of the podcast. It's something I do around the dinner table with my kids. Their high of the day, their low of the day, and their cheer. And the cheer is for like someone else. They're celebrating someone else that's done something nice. So we would like
specifically
that
in today, or just like we could cheer somebody in
of your
general.
career or life.
Oh,
So maybe someone who's done something for you.
okay.
So the high of your career or life.
Oh,
the
this is
low-
life.
Oh, this is
Yeah,
not
for the
life.
podcast. Oh,
Yeah.
jeez. Oh, God. This could get dark, you guys. For the
Can we do it like of the day?
Yeah, I
Let's
feel
just
like
do it of
day
the
would be
day.
better
Okay,
for
okay.
us.
That works.
It's like we're at the dinner table. It's
Yeah.
we're your
We're
kids.
at the dinner
and-
table. You are my kids.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
like my little kids.
Okay. I feel like some of the things I want to say I can't, so I'm not going to.
Please do.
I can't. It would bring in other people, and that's not nice. High of the day. Donuts.
I was just going to say.
Chatting with you
I was
guys.
gonna-
This
I
has
was
been
gonna
fun.
Put my hands down to the
Yeah, no, donuts for sure. High of my day is this, chatting, having some laughs. Low of the day was probably talking to my trainer about the status of my ankle.
Yeah. Julie asking about my ankle again.
No. Yeah, and just, keeping myself out of a deep, dark depression about that. So we're being honest.
Okay, what's your cheer?
I told you it could be dark.
Alex is like, okay, let's move it along.
My cheer of the day would be, oh man, I don't know if I understand the cheer of the day.
Like someone you're grateful for, like you're celebrating someone else. I'm trying to get my kids thinking like about others.
Somebody else.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I have Sana as a roommate right now, and I'm grateful for her and that she makes me laugh and just be silly all the time and keeps me smiling.
She's funny, huh?
She is a very funny human.
Yeah.
She's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
High of the day, definitely donuts. Close second is running on the Alter G treadmill.
Yeah.
It's only my second time in like a
right.
month. So
Oh yeah. Bet
20
you're there.
minute slow jog
Where'd you alter G?
at like the a hospital like around
This morning or after practice?
after practice.
Oh, very cool.
Low.
Proud of you. Good
Thank
job.
you. Yeah. Good highs. Low of the day is frustrations via text, via group text chain, which I won't share. And
We can't even get like a little bit out of that. Like, who's on the? Is it a group? This group or like your? No, nothing.
I don't know.
I know
got
what
the
group
stink-
she's
I got
talking
the-
about, and
I
I'm
got
not
the stink eye on that one. She was like,
I'm not
Jill,
gonna say
shut it.
Yes.
Just kidding. All right.
And cheer of the day is my aunt Patty, who's my godmother, just landed in Chicago, and I haven't seen her in a long time. And she sometimes misses her flights and isn't the most organized person, but she touched down. And I'm really excited.
Aunt
to see
Patty
her.
is here.
Yeah.
Let's give it up for Aunt Patty.
Aunt Patty.
Yes.
Where does she live?
She lives like in San Diego.
Aw. This is your mom's side, dad's side?
My mom's sister.
Aw.
Yes. Patricia is my middle name after my Aunt Patty, but unfortunately it got the axe when Morgan became my middle name and Crosco became my last name. So, but I still love her like just the
Yeah.
same.
Patty, don't take that personally.
Yeah, no.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
You missed
She
too
came
many
all the way
flights,
from-
Patty.
She came all the way from San Diego?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet.
Al has
I know.
like a supportive crew behind her.
Yeah,
They
I
show
do.
up.
Family is
It's true.
life.
I always see him
Yeah.
at the Friends and Family stuff
Yeah.
at the end. Mm-hmm. That's cute.
Yeah.
And Servando got to come out. I just read.
He did.
To the final.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't know that, by the way.
Galaxy actually
He like
flew
was
him
there
out.
for how many hours?
He was like so nervous about asking the coach, and like the GM or president proactively called him and said like, we want to fly you out to see Alex play in the final. It was
How awesome is
so
that?
sweet.
I know.
Yeah.
Because he was afraid to say, I want to
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Oh, that was nice.
So he landed the night before the game and was there for the game and left at like 6 a.m. the next day.
Did you have any idea? Did he totally surprise you?
No, we had talked about it. Yeah, that surprise would be too elaborate. I'm the organized one here, so we can't really like do that surprise.
He's like, I don't want to
Yeah.
freak you out.
Yeah.
Get you off your game. Oh, that's so awesome, though.
It was great.
You got to celebrate with
Yeah,
him as well.
he was at the 2015 final, actually with Dom because they were playing in Kansas City at the time. So Dom was there for Sid, Servando was there for me, and then this time around, I was like shocked he was actually able to come as well.
That's awesome.
It's meant to be.
What's your cheer about Alex
Oh yeah,
and Kelley?
you have to tell us your high low of the day.
For the what? My cheer of what?
Your cheer. What is your cheer
of these
regarding Alex and Kelley?
Oh wow.
I don't want to get emotional. I feel that, to your point of coming full circle, like you passing on to the next group, the biggest thing for us was, okay, are we leaving the game in a good place? Are we not just leaving it in a good place? Are we leaving it in a better place? And what was so important to us was that it wasn't just about standing on top of a podium. It was about changing the world for better. And when you see what these two are doing, who have played such a huge part in going out there and being courageous enough to do it, I go, it's this maternal like, okay, we're going to be great. So
Thanks,
thanks
Jules.
for all you guys do.
We're coming
Thank
up
you
on
for what you
10
did.
years with the team.
I know, dude.
December 2009 was
That's what I
our
was gonna
first
say.
camp together.
Like we have seen the evolution of this team,
Yeah.
and as of anyone who's been on the team for
Yeah.
years and years, it's just crazy to
Fun.
see how it just continues to evolve. At the end of the day, we're just renting this jersey, like we really are, and
It is such a privilege
Yeah,
to be able
it's-
to part of that family.
Totally.
So
Yeah.
Thanks, you guys.
Yeah,
Thanks for
thanks,
taking the
Jules.
time.
Thanks for having us.
Get
This was
yourselves
fun.
healthy.
Okay.
I'll stop
Yeah.
asking about knees and ankles.
Yeah, next time we have this talk, we're both gonna be back in fighting shape.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are we going to have this talk in like
You'll be
3.5
karate
years?
chopping in the air 10 feet high.
exactly. Thanks, Jules.
Love you guys. You know the really